Assalamualaikum grade 7, your English teacher is here with your Oxford Progressive English lessons. Students, today we are going to study our second chapter of unit number 3 at page number 60. Students, it is a non-fiction. It means that it is a real story. The name of the chapter is The Burning of St. Paul's Cathedral. Cathedral means church. St. Paul is Saint Paul. Students, as we have already discussed in the first chapter that this unit is about London city, and the first chapter was about the Great Fire of London, and this chapter also discusses the burning of St. Paul's Cathedral during the Great Fire of London. Let us discuss the summary of this chapter on the board. Unit number 3, London. Chapter number 2, The Burning of St. Paul's Cathedral. Summary. In this chapter, the writer tells how St. Paul's Church caught fire during the Great Fire of London. It was the highest building of London, so the people hoped that it might be saved from fire. But the flames of fire reached to its roof and broke it. The booksellers had sealed their books underground in order to save them, but they also burned to ashes. So students, this is the summary of this chapter. We will give a proper reading to this chapter, reading in our online lecture. Now we are going to study the words meanings of this chapter. Number 1, distinctive, it means prominent. Number 2, scholar, student. Number 3, cauldron, large, deep, open pot. Number 4, molten, in a melted state. Number 5, lead, a type of metal. Students, you will write these words meanings in your notebooks and learn them. Now come towards your books. You will open your books at page number 61. Here we are going to solve an exercise. Find the word from the text, The Burning of St. Paul's Cathedral, to put in the gap in each of the following sentences. So we are going to fill these blanks by searching their related words from the text. Number 1. Because Roxana was so much taller than all her classmates, she always felt distinctive. Distinctive means prominent. Number 2. After the big American pizza parlor opened up in town, many street food vendors lost their livelihoods. Livelihoods means ways of earning. Number 3. Burning live brands from the exploding building set fire to neighboring houses. Come towards next page. Number 4. To make their potion, the witches filled their cauldron with special ingredients including the feet of lizards. Number 5. The waves during the storm were gigantic and caused a great deal of damage to the houses along the sea front. Number 6. During the demonstration, stones were hurled at the police vehicles. So students, you will solve this exercise on your books and learn it. Students, now you will open your books at page number 62 because we are going to do reading for understanding here. So open your books and start to write. Reading for understanding. Question number 1. Why were the booksellers so sure that their stocks of books would be safe in the crypt of St. Paul's? Answer. They thought that the fire could not possibly go underground, so their stocks shall remain safe in the crypt. Question number 2. How did St. Paul's catch fire? Answer. Burning pieces of wood carried over by the wind fell on the roof of the cathedral and set it on fire. Question number 3. What illustration does the writer give of the brightness of the flames? Answer. The writer describes them as so intense that a young student sitting a mile away could read his book in their light. Question number 4. What happened to the lead from the roof of St. Paul's? Answer. It melted and ran out in the street. Question number 5. How does the writer illustrate the enormous intensity of the fire? Answer. The writer describes that the pieces of stones weighing up to 100 pounds travelled to great distance. Lead ran out streets like a stream and the pavement glowed with fiery redness. So friends, you will write these question answers in your notebooks and learn them. Our chapter has been completed. You will give proper reading to the chapter reading and learn these question answers. Allah Hafiz. Students, now we are going to start our next topic of English grammar, that is tenses. In the previous video, we have completed our present simple tense. In this video, we are going to study past simple tense. It is also called past indefinite tense. As we have discussed three types of tense, present, past and future. We have discussed the first type, present simple tense. Now we are moving towards our second type, past simple tense. So let's start to study past simple tense. It is used to express an action that happened or completed in past and is over now. So it is the expression of an action, a verb that happened or completed in past. An action that has been completed in past, in the previous time. The action that has been completed in the time that has passed and the action is over now. No part of the action is remained to be completed. It is fully completed action in the past time. So it is past simple tense. For example, he worked in Dubai last year. This sentence shows that he worked in Dubai last year. He worked in last year. His work has been completed and no part of his work has been remained. So it has been completed in the past, in the last year. So it is past simple tense. Past simple tense is also used to express a past habit. A habit that was in the past. For example, he exercised every day. It shows the habit of the pronoun he, which was found in the past and was completed in past every day. He exercised. His habit was completed in the past, so it is past simple tense. Students, now we are going to discuss the rules of past simple tense. Our rule number 1 is second form of verb or past simple is used as main verb in the positive sentences. So second form is used only in positive sentences. Rule number 2 is base form or first form of verb, that is identified with V1, is used in negative and interrogative sentences. So in positive sentences we will use positive second form, and in negative and interrogative sentences we shall use first form of verb. Rule number 3 is did is used as an auxiliary verb or helping verb only in negative and interrogative sentences. So in negative and interrogative sentences we will use the helping verb did. There will be no helping verb in positive sentences. There will be only second form of verb in the positive sentences. But in negative and interrogative sentences we will use first form of verb along with the helping verb did. So friends, by keeping in mind the above discussed rules, now we are going to discuss the structure of sentences. And positive sentences, our structure will be subject, we do, second form of verb, or past simple, and then object. Examples are, I killed a snake. I have mentioned subject and second form of verb and object on the sentences. You can see subject is I, as I have mentioned, as killed. Killed is V2, second form of verb according to our structure and our formula. And our next is object. Snake is object. I killed a snake. Our second example is he ate a mango. In this sentence, he is a subject, ate is V2, second form of verb, and mango is object. So friends, you will make 10 more examples of past simple positive sentences like these in your need work homeworks. Now we are going to discuss negative sentences. In negative sentences, we shall use subject plus did, that is helping verb, as we have discussed in the rules. Did and then not, then first form of verb and then object. Its examples are, I did not kill a snake. Students, as we have discussed that we shall use first form of verb in negative sentences. So I have used first form of verb here. You can see I is subject and did is helping verb according to our rules. Not I have been used as it is negative sentence, and kill is our first form of verb and snake is object. Second example is, he did not eat a mango. In this sentence, he is a subject, did is helping verb, not has been used because it is negative sentence, eat is first form of verb and mango is object. In interrogative sentences, we shall use helping verb first of all, did, and then subject, then first form of verb, then object, and in the last question mark. Our examples are, did I kill a snake? According to the formula, helping verb, did. Did is helping verb, and then subject is I, first form of verb is kill, and snake is object. Did I kill a snake? Second example is, did he eat a mango? Did is helping verb, he is subject, eat is first form of verb, and mango is object, and in the last we have used question mark. So friends, by keeping in your mind the rules that we have discussed about past simple tense and the definition and identification of past simple tense, you will keep these things in your minds and you will make 10 positive sentences, 10 negative sentences, and 10 interrogative sentences in your need notebooks as homework. So friends, we have completed our task of this week. This is your 1 week's task. You will practice tense, past simple tense, learn the story and learn the definitions and forms of verb. Allah Hafiz.